Oh, Panthers, 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 Panthers. I don't know what the hell that was. Neither do they. You know, I expected a better outcome for Florida. I expect them to actually go out and try. Instead of what I saw was everything except that. This team was completely fucked up from the get-go. It was hideous, you know. And I should have known something would go awry once it was 2-0 after the first period. Though I wasn't expecting this. The team is completely messed up. They really are. They were just outright frustrated. Kachuk is still out there. See, I thought Kachuk was going to kind of like cool down and kind of get his game going. Instead, he's still looking for heads, and he's just all over the place. He committed not one but 2 game misconducts in game 2. That's 3 total in this series. He has more game misconducts than he has points in this year's final. He got on the board finally, but then he committed the other misconduct, and Duclair committed one, and all sorts of insane stuff. It's oh boy. The Golden Knights were feasting. Yeah, a lot of calls. Some calls went their way that they shouldn't have, but still, officiating doesn't cause a 7-2 rout. You know, Florida was just absolutely. Oh boy. Oh boy. You know, it really looks like Vegas is going to win this thing. I mean, this is officially their most successful run in their brief franchise history. Because in their inaugural year, they got to the final, won 1 game. They won 2 in this year's final. So this is officially their most successful run. This is officially their most successful run in their brief franchise history, and it's gonna get better. They're gonna get those 2 other wins. I just have that feeling. Florida is just completely just cooked. You know what we're watching here. You know what we're watching here. This is what we thought Boston was gonna do to Florida, and then when the upset happened, we thought Toronto was gonna do this to Florida, and when that didn't happen, we kind of thought Carolina was gonna do this to Florida. But that didn't happen either. Vegas is doing what those 3 East teams should have done. And again, and staying on Vegas, this is their easiest, and I mean easiest path to a cup that ever. And this is the easiest path to a cup that I've seen in the last like 20 years. You know, and playing against like the lowest end of the playoff gene is a benefit to having a great record, to winning the division. But even then, the road gets tough for top level teams. The road was tough in our run last year. I mean, I think even the Predators, in the situation they were in last year, I think even the Predators were better than the teams that Vegas beat to get this far. I'm dead serious. Only thing wrong with the Predators was their goalie was injured, but even so, I think that team was better than any of the teams Vegas beat. I mean, come on. We beat a Vegas team that was still game even without their goalie. We beat a St. Louis team that was loaded. Okay? The Oilers, well, they Oilered. It's what they do best. And we beat Tampa to win this. We beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay? What's Vegas doing? Okay? Look at their run. The Jets, they were just happy to be there. They were just happy to be there. They weren't going to advance past round 1. They were just happy to be there. They knew it too. Edmonton, again, they Edmontoned. You can't count the Oilers for anything. All they do is choke and ruin superstars' careers. You can't count them for anything. So we all knew Vegas was going to beat them because the Oilers are basically what football fans say the Chargers are. and Dallas, That series was over after Game 3. They let Dallas win those next two to lure them into the false sense of believing that they're going to pull this off, and then they just crushed them in Game 6. They didn't play anybody worthy to get this far. And yeah, that sounds like an excuse, but come on. You seriously... I'm going to say this. Vegas should really be sending... they should really be sending all sorts of fruit baskets and gifts to the Seattle Kraken. They really should. Because if they don't upset us, we don't see Vegas. We don't see Vegas on TNT right now. We don't. You seriously think Vegas is going to beat the Avalanche out? No. Not even close. Not even close. Vegas was not going to beat Colorado out. That's a fact. That is a fact. And anybody that says they want to beat the Avs this year, they're deluding themselves. And I'll go far to that. They weren't going to beat Seattle. They were not going to beat Seattle because say Seattle wins that Game 7 against Dallas, I say Seattle beats Vegas because they were better than Vegas. How they beat the Avs out? You think they wouldn't beat Vegas? Come on. With their brief history of blowing it in round 3, no chance. And another team they have to thank, ironically, is Florida. Because again, like I said, look at the Avs last year. We beat a game Predators team, a strong Blues team, and yes, the Oilers were kind of strong last year, but again, the Oilers do what they always do best, and that's fuck up when it counts. And we beat Tampa. They were the Angels' version of Thanos. Okay, we beat Tampa. Vegas right now, they're playing against Tampa's little brother. That team should not be this far. Okay, you seriously think that team would be up 2-0 against Boston, Toronto, or Carolina? No, absolutely not. And don't get me wrong. That's a good team. This year's Knights are good and strong, and they got their shit together. But they would not beat this year's Bruins. They wouldn't. And yeah, I made fun of them for losing to Florida, but had they actually got the job done, they probably would have got this far. They wouldn't be beating Toronto like this either. No. They would not be beating Toronto like this. They wouldn't be beating Carolina, and I'll go even farther than that. Had Tampa actually... Tampa had not been broken by us and had been together and beat Toronto out and got to the final, Vegas would be down. Vegas was not going to beat the Panthers' big brother. So yeah, it may sound like I'm kind of downplaying the Golden Knights run, but I'm just setting things in perspective here. This is an easy ass run. They haven't really played anybody to know, and they've been blessed by stronger teams getting ousted early. I mean, as John Forson says, that's hockey, baby. But let's just tell it like it is. A road to a cup is supposed to be very, very hard. This has not been for Vegas. This has been pretty easy. They haven't really had any hardships. They haven't had any hardships. And you know something? Jack Eichel, who had 2 more assists, he is 2 wins away from making the cities of Buffalo and Edmonton cry. Buffalo for the obvious reason, but why do I say Edmonton? Think about it. Eichel was picked number 2 in that 2015 draft. You know who number 1 was? Some kid named Connor McDavid, who became this big point scoring dynamo, yet has this many conference final wins because of us. But Jack Eichel is going to get a cup. He'll be the second player from the top 10 in that draft to win a cup. The first, of course, was the Moose Mikko Rantanen. So yeah, this could be very interesting. The next couple games could be very interesting. We'll see what develops. But Florida, they need to get their heads out of their asses, behave, relax, and focus on playing the game. They need to focus on what brought them to this dance. Because if they don't do that, we're going to see stuff we haven't seen in 25 years. A sweep in the final. So, that's my recap of Game 2. The route that was, and Bobrovsky was knocked out too. So it was just terrible all around for Florida. That's a recap of Game 2. Game 3 is Thursday night in Sunrise. And we'll see if the Panthers really get their shit together. But for now, that is my recap. If you like this video, click the like button. Click subscribe if you want more. My story on Vocal about Game 2 will be in the description below. So check it out when you can. And I'll be back Thursday to recap Game 6. Game 3, so stay tuned.